Hey, what's up? It's Kit, time for another video. Today, we'll talk about how I match hooks with lures. Kind of easy if you already have a lure, an existing lure with hooks. Like take for example, if you buy a lure that came with hooks, all you have to do is just go to the shop when you want to replace them, match them with the ones that are in the shop, and you're good to go. But these lures actually did not come with split rings and hooks. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. So first thing is we're going to talk about the split rings. How I do the split rings is quite straightforward. What I do is actually look at the eye and I try to match a split ring with the eye, and I match this with the the inner diameter of the split ring. So this part right here, you just put it on the eye and you match it as close as possible. When you match it, that's it. You've got the right size. And it's as simple and straightforward as that. Now, as far as the hooks are concerned, I look at the width of the lure. In this case, it's a relatively flat-sided lure. And ideally, what you want to do is have the points exposed, such as this. As you can see, they're actually protruding. And that's ideally what you want, because you don't want the lure to protect the hook when the fish grabs the body. Now, lures that roll tend to also get hit when they roll. And if the hooks are not protruding, it protects the hook from snagging the fish's mouth when it's like that. So what you want is a hook or a treble hook that actually has points protruding the sides. And that's the most ideal scenario. Second thing that you also need to look at is if you've rigged them, see if they snag each other. If they snag each other, you have to go down one size or two, just so they don't accidentally snag each other. That will affect the action, one, and two, it will snag and you'll have a miserable time trying to hook the fish. Okay. Another thing to consider when you're choosing treble hooks is the size of the gauge of the wire, okay, or the gauge of the wire. As you can see here, these are thick wire, and if you put it on the lure, even if it matches the width, let's say, okay, let's say take this one right here, even say it matches and it's good, but it's heavy, it's going to affect the balance of the lure, and that's no good. Now, as you can see here also, I have inline singles rigged on these. How I choose them is quite straightforward, it's quite simple. I take my treble, find the right size for the lure, and find a hook that matches it in width, as you can see there. If you find that it matches the width, that's the right size. So pretty straightforward when you want single hooks, single inline hooks. Now, for poppers, they have kind of a different body, as you can see here. Or for lures that have similar body shapes, actually, this is what I do. As you can see, it doesn't protrude, but it does closely match the width. If you find trebles that have really short shanks, I believe KVD has one from Mustad. Okay, so if you're able to find short shank treble hooks that would make the hooks protrude, that's the most ideal scenario. But if you can't, just try to match the width of the lure as much as possible. See, if I upgraded in size to make the hook point stick out, I am pretty sure that these hooks would actually snag each other, and that's a very, very bad thing. Same goes with these singles. Okay, match them. Same thing as the example with the stick baits. Now, here's a bit of a caveat. These would actually snag each other. You know, there's a position here where they would actually snag, and that's not good. But you're dealing with only 2 points as opposed to six with the treble. So the incidence of the singles actually snagging each other is quite low. So it's okay even if there's a chance. But as you can see here, even I'm having a difficult time just trying to find the position where these will snag. I think it will be easier on this right there. See? So even if they match, and you can see that these hooks would snag, the incidence of singles actually snagging themselves is actually quite low, so you can get away with that. All right, so I think that's it. It's quite straightforward. I mean, it's not rocket science, but I know that there's a lot of difficulty with people trying to match it. I mean, in my experience, in the company that I used to work with, they had a data sheet that we were not allowed to share. It was kind of like a secret. All right, so um, you could go fancy with these spinner bladed trebles. I mean, this were the right size. Okay, so for this, it sticks out a little bit, just a tad bit. So from company to company, even if they're the same size on the label, even in the same company, the trebles actually don't kind of match because of the shape they're in. I don't know exactly how they judged the sizing, because there is a variance even in one company. In the same company, they will have treble hooks that are marked as, let's say, size 4, and then you put them together, one is slightly bigger than the other, so be careful of that as well. So that's it. I'm gonna keep this short and simple. Hope this video helps people out there, and if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.